All right, all right. Hey guys, welcome to the next episode of Ask the Stories. This is where we answer real questions regarding real estate, uh, whether it's selling a home, buying a home, and even venture off on the topic of business, and then maybe some life stuff too. But we try to stick to those topics. So, and of course, in Ask the Stories fashion, I get to ask a question one time, and the next one, Misty gets to ask the next one. So Misty's going to ask the question for today. I don't know what it is, so I tell her, don't tell me. Surprise. That way we get a real answer from it. So it's kind of like how her and I usually have conversations anyway. She says, hey, Story, what do you think? And then I give my opinion, and then Misty will give her opinion too on her own question. So, all right, what's question today?
I've had someone ask, I'm looking to rent a new apartment or a home, but everywhere I call, they ask if I'm working with an agent. Why would I work with an agent? I'm not buying or selling.
Okay. So I didn't know this until I actually became an agent, that it is common, or not common, it is actually free to work with an agent if you are going to rent, if you're going to rent. I didn't realize that until we became agents. I was like, oh, you mean it's free to work with an agent to rent a home? And so the reason why it's beneficial to work with an agent is they have access. That's one thing, they can send you properties. And then two, it doesn't cost you anything, right? Obviously you want to be true to that agent if you're going to do that. You don't want to just ride them around town, show you properties or whatnot. And then some of those homes, you'll get better service too, because if you rely on the person who's listing the home, you might not, you're on their time, right? They're not your client, and so they are basically, they have no fiduciary, responsibility for you, right? So that's another thing too. Is obviously when you hire an agent, they are responsible for you. It takes me back to one time. I remember I was going to purchase a home. I made an offer on a home, and I didn't have an agent. And this is on market property, and I was not nearly as savvy many years ago, and I didn't realize how much that agent that I was dealing with, the listing agent, was not working for me. They were working for the buyer 100%, and so, or for the seller, excuse me, for the seller. And in this case, if you're dealing with an agent, it's good to have someone there to maybe go in there and negotiate for you. So if you're the landlord, or if you're the person who's renting, if you have an agent, let them do the communication, let them do the heavy lifting, make sure the lease is right. That's something too. They can read through the lease. Again, it doesn't cost you anything. So they can read through the lease and go, oh, well, we need this, we need that. You know what I mean? They can do all the negotiating and stuff like that. I know you've been the agent for several people as the renter. And usually it works out, it just works out better. So that's typically me. Anything you want to add to that? Why?
Yeah, just pointing out some details in the lease, because usually when someone is renting a property, it's the listing agent that provides the lease, or the landlord. And so not all of them are the same, or they might throw some extra quirks in there that they want paid for by the tenant or what have you. And so it's important to know, if that's standard practice, or are they reaching a little too far, or yeah. So having somebody just working for you, and just putting your best interest in mind.
Yeah, a landlord doesn't have to actually go by a standard lease. They can write their own. They can write their own lease, even though Texas has, like, there are leases that realtors can use for that. But you don't have to go by that. A landlord can go with a 50-page document lease, and if you don't know what you're looking at, you might go, man, that's pretty confusing. But again, I mean, at the end of the day, they're free. That's the biggest thing. They're free. And I didn't know that. I mean,
once it's MLS.
Yeah, that's the thing too. That's the thing too. Yeah, as long as it's MLS, it's free. So as if you're not, you got to remember, like, how the agent gets paid, right? And kind of delve into that, like kind of pull that curtain back. So if you're the agent who's working with a renter, they get paid by the landlord, by the landlord. The landlord pays them a commission for bringing that renter, is what they do, right? And sometimes, guys, that commission could be as, I mean,
Flat fee.
a flat fee. It could be a percent. We've even seen one that was
$1.
$1. The landlord was going to give the agent the commission was $1. I'm not sure how long that lasted. As far as I'm sure many agents overlooked that. They're like, we're just not going to send that to our client because they're otherwise working for free. So and again, to pull that back, that's why.
Or the tenant would supply their commission.
Yeah, or the tenant supply the commission. So if you don't want to supply the commission, but you want to work with an agent, let them, so you would stick to things that are going to be on the MLS, not things where the landlord is doing
something on Zillow or.
Yeah, they're doing it themselves. So things like Realtor.com, that kind of stuff. So which is really where most rental properties are anyways. If you're looking for a home, most of it's on Realtor, right? Mm-hmm. Most of it's going to be on Realtor. Most of it's going to be, and they'll be on Zillow, but for the most part, a lot of it's on Realtor anyways. So, and then apartments, they can get you in apartments too. Sometimes the apartments will give, we'll pay commission on that. Not always. Again, it just depends. But obviously, if you're working with a particular agent, have some loyalty to them, right? They have some fiduciary duties to you, meaning they're responsible to make sure they're working your best interest, and you as the client need to do the same. You know what I mean? You don't want to drive them around 800 times and then go, all right, I'm out. I'm gonna go get this one. And they're like, dude, I drove you around. I mean, rearranging my schedule and my entire day to show these properties, and you just said, I'm out. I'm going to go pick something else. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go with that one. It's not a big deal. But, so they can be very, very helpful in negotiation. So anything else you want to add?
That's pretty much it.
Cool. Guys, if you have any questions, please, feel free to drop them in the comments. Send me a question, send Misty a question. These are real questions. These are things that we actually get within our real estate brokerage. And then just, throughout the week, we get a lot of different questions. And, so we like to answer those things. So it just kind of gives a help, gives some value to anybody out there who otherwise maybe had that question or is like, yeah, I didn't know that was available. We want to be able to do that. So if you guys have questions, man, we might just